Hello and welcome to the show. It's episode number 4 of season 2 of the Failsafe Fitness podcast. My name is Michael Joshua. I am the owner of Failsafe Fitness Limited. And this week it's going to be a very interesting show. Quite a bit to get through, so we're going to get straight into it. If you do want any personal training, massage, nutrition and weight management, or golf performance coaching, whether that be in person or online, check out the links in the description and I'm sure I'll be able to give you some help. Welcome to the show then, people. Episode number 4 of season 2, as I've said. We're going to fly through some topics this week. It's going to be a short, sharp and fast one. Usual formats, so we'll get into what I've been up to over the last week or so. So, as we all know, if you live in the UK, it's been raining. And I am at a golf course where rain is its worst enemy. We were almost ready to open in February. Then the rain came towards the end of February, which is the backlash that came across the pond from America. Then we had snow. Snow came in and then decimated it. And then a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were on the cusp again of nearly being open, and now rain. Hopefully by the end of this week, we will be open and we'll be playing golf, and I'll be taking on some new clients at the golf club. But as it stands, that's not happening. Very frustrating week. 2 new clients, 2 new golf clients, which has been really good. They're coming in and hopefully they'll be joining the 3 for 2 program starting in May. My own personal golf, I haven't picked up a golf club now for nearly a fortnight. I haven't practiced in the garden. I just haven't had the time. I've been working flat out as a greenkeeper. I've been trying to put this show together, trying to find some other side hustles that I can do throughout the winter, because if this is going to be the situation I'm in where only 6 months worth of golf performance coaching is going to happen, then the personal training side of the business is going to have to pick up. So I'm working on that over the summer and then through the winter. And that's been my week. I've had a few issues with my tax company, who have been taking money off me since October and then turned around and said, I'm a limited company, we can't deal with that, we're a personal tax corporation account. And I'm like, well, that's what I told you when I signed up for you. You said that wasn't a problem, and now you're going to tell me I can't. So I'm in the process of trying to find a new tax accountant. So if anybody knows a cheap one that can help me out as a limited company, then much appreciated. I'm about to sort one out myself, but if someone can beat the 25 quid a month I'm about to pay, the £300 a year, I'm in. So, first things first. The show has got a good nickname this week, I think. Supplements, putting, and treadmill running. I thought it was quite a quippy little subtitle. And we're going to get straight into that treadmill running. So for those little gym bunnies even, for those gym bunnies that tend to go and do 40 minutes of cardio with about 10 minutes of weights, the people that jump from one cardio machine to another, then here's some good news for you. Apparently, a study done a little while back from Level University found that runners who use a gradient higher than 3%, so when you're on your treadmill and you put it at 3% or more, you are more likely to have more muscle growth, and you're more likely to use fat oxidation than those running on a flatter treadmill. So if you're one of those people that likes to go to the gym and you like to run in the gym because, I think running on a treadmill isn't so bad. I think if you struggle with dodgy knees, I think the impact cushioning that a treadmill can provide, and of course the 365, 24/7 availability of a treadmill is great. So, if you're one of those people that does like to run on a treadmill than outside for various reasons, then make sure you're running at 3% or above in terms of gradient, and you'll be getting more muscle growth and you'll be burning more fat. So good news to all those people out there. And that's my little tip for the week. If you do want to, more fat oxidation and build some more muscle, then run on the treadmill as your cardio, whether that be HIIT or steady state, 15 minutes to 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and you'll be burning more fat, building more muscle, using a piece of equipment that could, potentially just be boring and you're not doing it very well. So 3% more gradient, build more muscle and burn more fat. That's your simple tip of the week. Going into your nutrition then, falling into what we did last week, I said there were 6 supplements. Now these aren't supplements you should be taking all the time, but they are certainly supplements that can help you build more muscle and recover more quickly. And they're all supplements you can take overnight, so before you go to bed. And last week was very, L-tryptophan, ZMA and honey. Very simple. They all have their uses. And this week, we're going to talk about a protein. And a protein which is going to be casein. So casein protein is a slower digesting form of protein. So normally whey protein is the one that people tend to recommend, especially if you're trying to build muscle and you're trying to get some protein in quickly, because whey protein is definitely absorbed faster than casein. But because casein is a little bit slower digesting, it's great to fill a gap. So if you're hungry before you go to bed, or you're hungry, mid-morning, midday, before a meal's due, take a casein. It will burn off slower. And casein can also improve your health by helping to boost muscle growth and aid recovery after exercise, which is an important factor when you're trying to build muscle and you're trying to factor in weight loss. So if you can go to the gym, do a big session, feel a little bit sore, take a casein protein shake about 30 minutes before you go to bed. You can take that on board, and while you're asleep overnight, again, the amino acids are boosting your system. So your brain tends to take amino acids out of the muscles, or stops it from getting to the muscles to keep it alive. Because as you're asleep, your body doesn't need to use your muscles, but your brain will steal some amino acids to keep it alive. So an extra, boost of amino acids from the casein protein will help those muscles recover as well and keep you topped up throughout the night. And it'll be a great thing for, fatigue muscles and that muscle growth. So casein, about 30 minutes before you go to bed, will help you recover and help keep you healthy, and will also help you build that muscle. Because the more muscle you have, the more muscle mass you have on your body, on your skeletal frame, the less fat. So your body will use the fat to optimize, micronutrients to help build muscle. So the more muscle you can pack on, the less body fat you'll eventually have, is the theory. And that's the one thing that, as a a personal trainer and has diet and nutrition experts and personal trainings and strength and conditioning experts, it's really weird because we can tell you how many carbs to eat, how much protein to eat, how much fat to eat. We can tell you a rep range. But what we can't actually tell you is how much muscle mass you need to keep weight off. So you can be super lean or you can be super fat, but there's no, you need 52% or 58% muscle mass for homeostasis, for your body to not build muscle and not gain weight. We can't do that, and that's I find that really fascinating. There's been a couple of studies, and there's likes of Dr. Andy Galpin who's well into that. He's on the Barbell Shrug podcast, and he's currently doing studies along those lines of how much muscle mass do we need in different body types to actually start to burn fat or start to build muscle. How much muscle mass is going to be. So we know how much body fat we should have, we know how much water we should have, but actual muscle mass in a person is crazy. That we can't go, oh, by your height and your weight you need 62% muscle mass and your body fat will start to come off. We can't tell you that. It's crazy. That's the one thing we can't do as professionals, is do that. But yeah, casein is going to help build more muscle and help you recover as well. The second item on the bill, the second supplement you can take before you go to sleep, is glutamine. Now, glutamine is an amino acid. It's a side chain to the similar of that of glutamic acid, and is classified as a charged neutral polar amino acid. What this actually means is that it's one of the 20 essential amino acids that make up all proteins. And proteins obviously build muscle. It's needed during traumatic conditions like illness, injury, surgery. It's the most abundant amino acid in blood serum, and it tends to decrease in proportion to the acuteness of trauma to the body. So the main benefit of glutamine is that it improved outcomes to trauma, so injury, burns, etc., things like that. So this is definitely a great builder and injury prevention formula. So take a tablet or a few grams, doses can be as high as 50 or 60 grams a day, but you can get tablet form. You can take a couple of tablets during the day or 3 tablets a day. That are normally about 3 to 6 grams. Take a couple of those and it's going to help keep you boosted with this essential amino acid. So glutamine, definitely get some in your system, and you can take it overnight. Third one, and the 6th supplement that you should probably consider taking if not at the start of your regime, just to boost your system, is glycine. Now, glycine is, again, another essential amino acid. It helps build proteins needed for tissue and hormone maintenance. So glycine is great in terms of support for your heart and your liver health. It improves your sleep, and it can reduce diabetes risk and reduce muscle loss. Again, with all these essential amino acids and with casein in there as well in the system, it's going to give your body the potential to boost its immune system and hormone production, and it's going to be a fantastic way of doing things. And it may also improve your sleep. So glycine is well recommended if you want to take that to help your recovery and help your skin, etc., etc. And that's the 6 kind of supplements you can take overnight. You don't have to think about it before you go to bed. You don't have to take all 6. Take a couple. I'd probably recommend casein and ZMA. Definitely. They will look after you while you're asleep, because the casein protein will keep you boosted with amino acids, and the ZMA will also help with your sleep and recovery. It's something that I tend to cycle every 3 to 6 months. I tend to do a 30 or 60 day period of that to help my recovery from my training, etc., etc. And that is your nutrition tip of the week. Moving into my promotion, coming up 1st of May, right the way through to the 31st of May. If you are looking for golf performance coaching, personal training, nutrition and weight management, all three will now be on the 3 for 2 promotion with a maximum of 3 purchases, 9 for 6, and they will be valid for 90 days. So you basically get 3 months to fit in 9 sessions of either personal training, golf performance, nutrition and weight management. They are 3 for 2. Go to the website, book yourself in. Links are in the show description. Starting 1st of May, running till the 31st of May. Come and join the program. Come and join the successful clients that I've had in 2023. Come and be part of the Failsafe Fitness family. Promotion over. We're going to have a little chat about golf. What happened in golf this week? As I have done for the last couple of weeks, we said it'll be 26 weeks of golf news and golf, my opinions on things. Well, this is sort of bleeding from the Masters as well. So Rory McIlroy didn't make the cut at the Masters. And because he didn't make the cut at the Masters, he then decided to pull out of this weekend's Harbour Town golf event. So he's been very outspoken on his views with Liv. So he's one of the most elite guys. He's world number 3. And part of his, shall we say, involvement with the PGA Tour was that there were going to be 12 designated events in 2023. Now, these 12 designated events mean that I think the top 50 or top 30 or something like that have got to be at these events. They were going to be allowed to miss one of the 12 events. Next year, I think it raises to 14. So this week's RBC Heritage Tournament is one of those designated events. It's a really big field. And Rory pulled out after missing the cut at the Masters. And he'd already didn't play at the Century Tournament of Champions, which is the tournament, a designated event for all the winners of the previous year. They make up the field. And he decided not to go. And what this basically means is that the third best player in the world will now lose $3 million of his PIP rewards. So the PIP rewards are the Player Impact Program. So what they put together was Rory will basically get $1 million just to turn up and play 11 of these 12 events. So he gets $12 million a year. And the Player Impact Program basically guarantees that there are 12 events this year, 14 events next year in 2024, that the world's top players are going to be there. So by having the world's top players at these events, they're going to make an impact on eyes on the event. And Rory has now missed 2 of them when he's only meant to miss 1. So he's going to lose a third of his bonus. So he's going to lose $3 million. And I just find this interesting that there's been talk about him going to Live. He's got a young family. He's not really performing. He's world number 3. he's not performing at his best. And would it be better for him to go and sign? If Tiger Woods is worth, $800 to $1 billion, Rory McIlroy being at Live Golf has got to be worth at least half of that. $350, $400 million on a 4 or 5 year contract or 10-year contract. I mean, he's 30 some odd now, 34, 35 years of age. I think a $40 million a year contract, $400 million till he's 45. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me, even if it's not competitive golf. But Rory's been very outspoken about the live players, and then he was a big part of this, this player program that has propped up a player impact program. And it's just very interesting to me that he pulled out of this event. Doesn't seem to be that bothered about $3 million. And I get it. He's not played well. He's still trying to dial that driver in. I mean, he went from I can't play the damn thing to playing really well the week before the Masters. And then got to the Masters and he was a bit inclement again. But I think that was more to do with the pressure that Rory puts on himself. And there's a lesson to be learnt there. I think if you're struggling with any club in the bag, especially if it's off the tee with a driver, as an amateur you should go and find another solution. Whether that be hitting your 3-wood off the tee, hybrid off the tee, something that will comfortably get hit a fairway. Build some confidence by hitting the fairway. Go and work on the driving range with the driver that you're not hitting very well. Work on the driving range with that. Work on your setup, start line. If you've got the ability to go and use a TrackMan, find out your face angles, launch angles, spin. Adjust it if you need to adjust it. See how it comes out. Because everybody's swing changes week to week. Temperature-wise and weather-wise, we all make changes. Clothing can make a big difference. Wearing a t-shirt and shorts in the summer and wearing a t-shirt and shorts in the winter, you're going to be freezing to death for one, but you're not going to swing the same because you're going to be cold and everything's going to feel tight. And it's the same in the winter if you've got a massive, big, fat, thick jacket on or several layers. You're not going to have the mobility to swing your club as well as you should. So Rory clearly, doesn't need $3 million, but it's still a lot of money to miss out on. And I hope that he sorts himself out. I hope that he stops putting himself under so much pressure to win the one major he doesn't have. I think the career Grand Slam will come, but he's just got to let it happen naturally. He's got to stop heaping the pressure on himself. And that's my little thought of the week on the world of golf. Finally, my tip of the week is a stolen one, unfortunately, but it's a really good tip, and it is something I've done previously with clients, and I have actually done this early this year with one client on a putt-out mat. It wasn't to this length, but it was something that was interesting. So, putting. We all know that the greens are a little bit long at the minute. It's a little bit wetter, and then we know the summer is coming. Greens will be a lot shorter and they'll be a lot faster. So this is a little tip before you go out and play. Take yourself 3 or 4 balls out of your bag, get 3 tee pegs, and then pick a hole reasonably flat, and it's about anywhere between 10 and 15 feet away. Because a lot of mid-handicappers and higher handicappers struggle with, I spoke about a couple of weeks ago that a 12-foot putt, most handicappers of 15 or above are 3-putting that 15-foot putt. So 10 to 15 feet, go and put the 3 tee pegs. So take your putter grip, put the putter grip either side of the hole and behind the hole. Make yourself a little semicircle with the 3 tees. So one behind it and one either side. Go and walk 10, 15 feet away. And what I want you to do is for the next, I'd probably say do this 10 times. So the next 30 putts, I want you to try and get your golf ball inside that putter grip. Because in a match play situation, they're probably going to give you that putt. If you just put it that close from 12 and 15 feet, they're probably going to give you that, 18-inch putt for par or even for the hole. So this is all about pace control, and this was stolen from a tour pro, Greg Chalmers. He's on the Hack It Out podcast with Mark Crossfield. I listened to that quite religiously. They got some great tips, and I thought, you know what, I have done this previously, and he was all about putting, and he's one of the best putters inside 6 feet, I think, on the PGA Tour history, or something silly like that. So taking a tip from him, and I'm giving it to you, over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks before you go and play golf, 3 tee pegs, one behind, one either side, 10 to 15 feet. Do that 10 times with 3 balls. That's 30 putts, and that will improve your pace control. Try and get the ball in between those tee pegs. And if you can do that, you are more than likely going to be given that hole in a match play situation. And the fact you're only going to have an 18-inch or so 2-foot putt for par, birdie, or at worst bogey, double bogey. But you're able to control that pace. So that's my tip for the week. Get that done. Do that over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks. Even if you only do it once every fortnight for 3 weeks, the weather conditions over the forthcoming weeks are going to change. Your course conditions are going to change, but you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to know what's going on with your greens, how to read those putts, and how to read those 10 to 15 foot putts when you're out on the golf course. You'll give yourself the best opportunity and the best way to practice to give you those opportunities to make pars, to make bogeys, and at worst to save yourself from 3 putting on some greens. And that's it. It's been a pretty sharp and quick podcast this week. Thank you all for listening. And don't forget about the blog. So this blog post that is up on the site at the minute is something I did a few months ago. I've slightly revised it. There are 2 versions of the workout. So it's basically a beginner's workout program. Everything on there is on the post. So it's an A and a B program, and then a B, A, B. So you do workout A, workout B, workout A 1 week, so ABBA. And then the second week you do workout B, workout A, and workout B. So you do ABA and BAB. And you just rotate that. It's a very, very simplistic, very, very basic. And I think if you can master those basics over a period of 12 weeks or even 16 weeks, move yourself on to the second phase, which is still ABA and BAB, but it's a few extra added exercises. So I think it goes from there's about 4 exercises in the program in the initial bog standard basics, and then there's about 6 exercises in the second program. So if you follow those 2 programs for 6 months, I'm guaranteeing you're going to build some strength. I'm guaranteeing you're going to build some consistency. And everything in that post will explain the reasons why I recommend the program and the reasons why I do that program with pretty much everybody who walks through the door, whether they've got, 15 years of experience of being in the gym or 5 minutes of being in a gym, because those basic exercises build the basis around my programs. They will build more muscle and more strength quicker than having to do fancy arse programs and fancy arse programming, because people want to see results. And from my opinion, that program that I've laid out, both part 1 and part 2, are probably the best program you will ever do. It's the most basic program you'll ever do, and the most basic program you will ever see. But it will be the answer to your prayers. And if you do that for 6 months, I almost guarantee that you will see results, as long as you're progressively overloading your body and the weight. So it's 8 to 10 reps. So ideally you'll be doing 3 sets, and the last set, that third set, you should only just about be getting 8 reps. If you're getting 10 reps, 3 sets easy, put some more weight on the bar. The most important thing of that plan is that you make note of the plan, you make note of the reps, you make note of the weight you have used, and you progressive overload. If you don't track that, then you're going to struggle. But this is the most basic program you'll do. It's available for free on the blog right now. So if you're looking for a program to take to the gym, I don't care whether you've been weight training for 15 years or you've been weight training for 5 minutes. Use this plan for 6 months. Do some basic cardio on top of it, and you cannot go wrong. Thank you for listening. It's been a wonderful half an hour. I hope you've learned something about some products today, some supplements that you can take. I'm not saying you should take, but supplements that you can take to help with your progression and fill some gaps in your nutrition. I hope you take away that if you are in the gym and you do take up my ABA and BAB programs, that you'll also do a little bit of cardio at 3% or more incline on the treadmill, which is going to help build more muscle and burn more fat. And of course, if you're a golfer, nobody likes the 3-putt. 3 T-pegs round the hole, about a grip of your putter either side and behind. 10 sets, 3 putts, 10 to 15 feet. Get your ball inside those T-pegs, and people are going to give you those putts in match play, and you're going to leave yourself a very short putt for your par or second, but you certainly will stop 3 putting. I hope you have a great week. I hope to see you all very, very soon at Himley Hall Golf Centre, where I will be coaching in the sunshine, I hope. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Be good, everybody, and play well.